Hi friends, Travis here, and today I'm going to give you just kind of my final thoughts on the MSC Meraviglia. Not so much like a review of the ship or anything in depth, just a sort of informal discussion about my experience on my most recent cruise with them. And that was in mid-December, well, early December, I guess, the second week of December of 2021, so just a few weeks ago. And I'm not going to do this in the format that I've done on previous Final Thoughts videos, but because I've done a Final Thoughts on the overall vibe of the Meraviglia before, so I'll link that in the description below or a card above. But what I'm going to do today is just kind of talk to you a little bit about what my experience was like on this particular cruise. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the things that differed from my thoughts and opinions last time I was on the Meraviglia. And the biggest one was that I sort of dinged them quite a bit on the food. But after having experienced Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas, and now this time being back on the Meraviglia with even more food options and things, I have to give them a little bit more credit than I did last time. Last time I said it was 50-50, and I think that rings true depending on what you order and, how you go about things. But for me, this trip, the food was hands down some of the best food I've ever had in my life, and that included the buffet food as well, which is where the Meraviglia tends to get the most criticism. So yeah, definitely thumbs up for the food compared to last time and just overall. The other thing that was different this time compared to last time was one of the biggest issues I had with the Meraviglia last time I was on it was that there was just so much upselling. Like literally every single time I'd sit down for a meal or, every time I'd just be sitting randomly in a bar or whatever, someone would be coming up to me to try to upsell me a specialty restaurant and an excursion, or, the drinks package if they, thought I didn't have one, or even trying to upgrade me to the super fancy big drinks package, which you probably don't need, by the way. But anyway, so yeah, I found that really frustrating on my first Meraviglia cruise, but that was not so much the case this time. They did do that the first day. As you're coming on the ship, there's people waiting for you to offer you drinks packages and specialty restaurants and all those things. And kind of the first, hour or two on board, that was kind of happening everywhere. But then once the first day was over and, we were into the evening and festivities and stuff, that ceased to happen, and I never got approached again. So that was definitely, a different vibe from the time before in a good way, I would say. The next thing I would say that was different from my first time on the Meraviglia was the entertainment. And I did say in that previous video that there were a lot of entertainment options, even things that overlapped and stuff, which was also true on this cruise, and even more so. They had more options this time, which is good. But the thing that I thought was pretty noticeable was that the quality of the entertainment was a little bit lower this time than the last time. And I don't know if maybe it's just because the last time it was my first cruise ever and I was experiencing things for the first time and whatever. But the reality of it is, I liked the shows and entertainment the first time better than this time. Although one show that they did add is called Meravigliosa Amor, which was my favorite theater experience that I've had on a cruise ship. So, huge kudos to the MSC Meraviglia for that show. It definitely celebrates that Italian culture and, this colorful sort of depiction of Italy, and just loving how marvelous, or, the marvel that is Italy, and, cruising on an Italian cruise line. So, hats off to them for that. Now let's talk about what was the same. The staff on the Meraviglia is hands down some of the best in the industry. I'll be experiencing Carnival here in a couple weeks. I'll be on Royal Caribbean again, in March and April. I've got MSC again in May. So maybe my opinion of that will change. And this particular crew on the Meraviglia, all of their contracts are about to end this month and next month. And I think some are there as late as March. So the next time I'm on the Meraviglia, it might be a completely different story. But at least for right now, in this world that we live in, on this day and time, etc., hands down the best staff, and that carried through from last time to this time, and possibly even more so than last time. So yeah, great job, MSC. The next thing that was the same were the bar staff, and this kind of piggybacks off of what I just said. But one thing that I was really worried about when I took my first cruise was whether or not I would get my money's worth for the drink package. Because, you know, you spend all this money, $50, $60, $70 a day on a drink package. And, you know, it could potentially be that the bartenders are really slow at giving you additional drinks, or aren't that approachable, or, you know, especially out on the pool deck, they never come up to you and that kind of thing. And that did not happen on my last cruise or this cruise. As a matter of fact, I felt like the bar staff genuinely wanted me to have a good time and wanted me to get my money's worth, which was amazing, you know. And it was the same thing on Royal Caribbean, or at least Freedom of the Seas. And we'll see how it is with Carnival, because I know Carnival has like a daily limit and that kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes. But the bar staff, always my favorite on any cruise ship. And MSC Meraviglia is top of that list for sure. And then just a couple of other things to kind of like speed things along a little bit. My room steward was fantabulous both trips. My waiter, I actually had the same waiter both times. I requested Ravender this most recent trip because I remembered him from last time. And yeah, absolutely spectacular. We're actually friends on Facebook now. And yeah, so I'm following the cruise director on Instagram. And obviously all of the Off the Record on the Rocks band. And so yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that piece. And then just to kind of close things out, I'll talk about sort of what to expect with videos involving the Meraviglia and that kind of thing. I plan to do a full ship review, like I do with my hotel reviews and whatever. And those take a little bit more work. They do require me to have more or less a script and that sort of thing. So it's, you know, it's on my list. It just hasn't happened yet. And, you know, I also plan to revisit the Meraviglia at some point in the future. I think I could see that, since that's my first cruise ship ever, I could see that being like a cruise ship I go on every single year, perhaps, and make a tradition of that, which would be pretty cool. And I also plan to talk a little bit in a video about why people don't like MSC as much as maybe other cruise lines. And I'm waiting to go on Carnival to put that together so that I can kind of have 3 different cruise lines to compare. And we'll go from there. And then I'll tell you all why I love MSC as much as I do. So yeah, lots of content coming up. But I want to thank you all for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. Y'all have a good night, and we'll talk soon.